Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Yoga for Dads. I am Dalton Johnson, and today's class is going to pretty much be all about the legs. So, the goal for today is to loosen up the legs so that usually when you loosen up the legs, the lower back starts to feel a little bit better, and then also the hips. And pretty much like your hips and core are like what supports the whole body. So, in essence, if you can loosen all this stuff up, like through the legs, loosen the hips up, you'll start to feel a lot better. And usually when you feel better, you get to play more with your friends and family. So, what you'll need today is a yoga mat. Well, you don't really need a yoga mat. You don't really need anything. But things that would be useful would be like an open space. Yoga mat could be nice. A strap. But honestly, if you have a belt works great. If you have a t-shirt, that should be great. You're probably doing this in your home, so like you can just take off your shirt and use it. Let's get started. So, to get started, we're just going to lay on our backs, and what you're going to do is you're just going to take this, your little strap, put it on the ball of your foot, and we're just going to sit here. You're going to breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. With each inhale, you're trying to get longer, and you're trying to get your leg to be a little bit straighter. And then with each exhale, you're going to be bringing your foot closer to you. So like if you have a strap, you're going to be pulling it in. If you're not using a strap and you're just using your arms, you're just going to pull it in. You can grab your toes. Once again, on that exhale, you're just going to be pulling it in. If you can't even get your leg with a strap up, like if you're like this and you're like, oh, too tight, then just bend your knee and bring it in. Okay? So there's some options that you have. Personally, I like a strap because I'm pretty lazy, and so you can just kind of hold on to it. So now we've been holding on to this for quite some time. We're going to go in two directions. The first direction, since we're on our left leg, we're going to cross the body. And as we cross the body, the tendency is to actually lift the whole body off the ground. And we want to maintain our shoulders contact on the ground. And you'll just let the leg drop naturally. So we're just going to be here for the count of 4 breaths. All right, we'll do 5 breaths. And with each exhale, try to push your left shoulder further into the ground, creating more space through your back. And as you want to dive deeper, you're going to lift your leg towards your face. Okay, come back. Now for the other direction, we're just going to open the hips up wide. And the tendency here is for these hips to kind of come towards the leg. And so the goal is to just keep your hips flat on the ground and then your leg out. The best thing to do is actually to take your heel and twist your heel to the sky, and that's going to give you a greater range of mobility. And then as you want the stretch to get deeper, you'll once again just pull towards your face. Nice. Now, swap legs. As you're doing this, you might start to feel things kind of loosen up elsewhere. Like for me, I just felt my back kind of loosen up a little bit more. With our leg straight up, just kind of pull it in and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now we're going to come across the body. Once again, the tendency is for the shoulder to kind of come up and for you to roll. Actually, the goal is to stay with our back flat on the ground and pull across. At least for myself, I think of these stretches as being like very relaxing. At no point should you be like gritting your teeth or kind of like struggling. Like you should just be like breathing into the stretch. So like for right now, I'm getting a really good sensation through my lower back into the top bit of my glutes and out through the IT band. The IT band is just the thing that kind of like separates the it's the ligament that holds your hip to your knee. But yeah, it should just feel good. It's a slow progression. Back to the top and down. And with this one, it's really kind of just like a feel it for yourself. Like I think once again the key is to take your heel and point it to the sky to protect your knee, and then you should be feeling it through the groin coming through. And usually if you're loosening up the groin, there's a lot of tension that men hold within kind of like the oblique area, and by opening up the groin, you're really helping opening up this space. Okay, perfect. Now what we're going to do is transition to all fours. Then push up into downward dog. And as we're here in downward dog, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to kick the left leg forward. And then once we're here, undo the back foot, have it be flat on the ground. At first, we're just going to lean in to this right hip. And really, we're just going to try to open this right hip for the count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lift up. And you'll grab your foot, and now it's a quad stretch. So for here, it's really important to keep the core tight. And then also for myself, do you see how I grab the inside of the foot and then kind of pulling that direction, like pulling towards myself? Really opens up the front of the hips and opens up the quads. You can like wiggle your toes around. We're not trying to get too deep here. We just want to be able to breathe into the space. And then let it go. Come back, all fours. Downward dog. Step that right foot forward. Once again, untuck the feet. Let the top of your feet hit the ground. Then we'll be here. I mean, it's honestly up to you. So like, when we're looking at this bit, we never want to be like over the tips of your toes. Just trying to keep it kind of neutral, kind of 90 degrees and a 90 degrees. That's really good. And then just constantly trying to open this hip. And a good way is actually to take your core and go straight forward and kind of lean. And that's honestly the best way. What I've also found is if you take your big toe and kind of put the weight more on the big toe of your foot, when it's down like this, it kind of dives into a little bit more of the groin, and then that opens up and really helps out with opening up this hip. Okay. Now bring your left foot up. Once again, grabbing from the inside. If this is like too much for you, if you're like arching your back to get there, you're actually going to end up like kind of pinching the back. So what you could do is grab the strap, and you could always just grab the strap here, and like if it's too much, you just start easy. You know, start with the strap and see how that works for you. Once again, that strap could be a belt. The strap could be your t-shirt. You don't need fancy things. So we'll just be here for a few more breaths. Okay, let it go, bring it to the ground. So now we're going to do the thing that I always struggle to do. It's just, for myself, it hurts just so much. But it's like that good hurt. So we're going to work actually on our feet and then on our calves. So to start, we're just going to take and you're going to spread your toes to the ground. Just spread them to the ground, and then you're just going to go here, and then we're just going to sit on it. And I tell you what, I try to do this a couple times a week, and I always get told it gets better. I don't think it ever gets better. But we're just going to sit here for about 30 seconds. And, you know, it's one of those things, I'd rather just hold a plank or something like that, because this sensation it's quite intense for me. One thing you can do is you can put a pillow under your heels. If you're like up like this and you're like stuck, yeah, you could just put a blanket there. You could put a pillow there. That all works really well. So I know we're only at like 20 something seconds, so we'll keep going. Whew, we got 3 seconds left, and that's it. Whew. Let's go and kind of tap the tops of the feet on the ground. Okay. Now we're going to go the opposite direction, and this is going to be helpful for the shins. Once again, if you're feeling any sort of like actual pain instead of just sensation, there is a difference there, and I'm not going to dive into that here, but if you understand that difference, it's very important. Also, make sure if you're doing this that you grab a block or something, put underneath you if you're like up here, or if you're feeling anything in your knees. That always works well. But once again, you don't really need it, but maybe a pillow or something. Here. Also, the tendency is for your heels to come out and for you to just like sit into it, but the whole point of the stretch is to keep your heels together and then sit on it. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to focus on our calves, and then we'll be done for the day. So to focus on your calf, the key here is to we're going to go one leg, not in a downward dog. If you want it to be like a downward dog, feel free. It's kind of the general concept, but we're just stretching the calf. And the way you do that is you keep the foot flat on the ground, and you kind of like twist the knee, and you like go out one direction and then the other direction. Sometimes this looks like people just stand up, and what they do is they'll just come forward and then they'll go out, and then they'll go in. And essentially what this is supposed to do is just increase the mobility in your ankle, and that mobility should hopefully help you walk a little bit better. And as you walk a little bit better, now you're in a more natural position, and if you're in a more natural position, then your body hurts less. Okay, switch sides. I'm really only doing this standing up so that you can kind of see it best. So it's just like a straightforward interior and an exterior. And they're just little movements. Just slowly trying to get there. Increase that mobility. Allow you to play with your kids more. Last round. Okay. If you'd like to do Shavasana, please take 30 seconds or more of just laying down, letting these ligaments that you just worked in your legs, letting them kind of cool down, strengthen, and kind of feel the difference. But for the time being, I just wanted to say thank you very much for being a part of this class and being a part of Yoga for Dads. I'm Dalton Johnson, and I hope to see you next time.